Good morning, everybody. That is really bright. Hold on one second. That's better. Good morning. Can you guys hear me and see me? My microphone on. Yes. Awesome. Good morning, everybody. Probably gonna stay on about an hour today and then do an hour tomorrow as well because I keep losing my voice from allergies. So we'll stay on until my voice decides to leave. Before we get started, please remember that all of my all of my links are in stan.store/thereckoningco. If it's not in there, it's not me. I think that's it. If you want to order Whispers of the Unsolved, the True Crime deck, I have that in stock. They're ready to ship. If you are trying to order Faith Over Feelings deck, I have to wait for shipment to come in. 1 second. Grab my card. Okay. Let me go back up a little bit here. Okay. Should my brother continue to fight for his marriage or should he walk away? Is there something there for him? Eight of Wands. Hanged Man. The World. I would say there's a tough conversation that needs to be had where one of them is going to have to make some kind of compromise for the other, but it feels like that's been attempted and failed already. Like we tried to get this compromise and it didn't help. I don't really see things. I almost want to say it's not your brother, but the spouse that is having trouble with some kind of compromise. And it doesn't feel like that person is going to be willing to compromise. And there needs to be a compromise in order for it to get into like a healthy place. I would say there's still efforts that can be had, but if the other person can't get on the same page, it's going to remain the same. Have I been releasing these past couple weeks, or what do you feel is going on with me? I feel like I've been regressing back into old thinking patterns. So when we're releasing old patterns, we'll get rid of some of it and then it'll be fine. And then it'll come to the surface again. That's actually one of the things that I say in the soul contract readings is like, as you release parts, your consciousness will give you more as you're ready to handle it. So it doesn't feel like you're returning to old patterns. It feels like you're being given the opportunity to recognize old patterns and choose differently. It's not that you're doing anything wrong or backtracking. It's that you're getting the opportunity to identify what feels out of place now that in the past felt normal. So like negative thinking in some regards in the past, you were like, okay, this is just part of the day, where now you're like, okay, that doesn't belong. So it feels like that is what's happening. It's coming to the surface to be released. Why is this light so bright? Oh well. Okay. What is my soul's purpose? I feel lost. King of Cups, Queen of Swords reversed, Page of Swords reversed. It's like you've gotten the internal balance, and now the next step is learning how to project that externally, like all the growth that you've experienced internally, now finding a way to make something out of that externally feels like the next step here. Oh, the Star and Six of Pentacles reversed. Showing up for yourself differently will help you see where you can rededicate pieces of your energy to show the internal balance externally. You were right, my lab showed a major increase in my cholesterol. Will I be okay if I go the natural route with strict diet and supplements? I don't want strains or drugs if the natural way will work. There's some kind of worst case scenario that you're worried about, and that's not going to happen. I almost feel like you're worried about another health thing. You're like, if my cholesterol negatively affects this other health thing, then that's going to spiral. That's not going to happen. The two things are not connected. Will I be okay if I go natural route? I feel like it will help, but there is still something that's going to be a tougher piece of it. Almost like if you get it down to a certain amount and they need it to go a little lower to be like not needing some kind of supplementation, it feels like the last little drop is going to be difficult. So there may be something additional that could help that's not strains or drugs, but is more than just a diet change. So I would say keep an open mind with that. Message from my dad. I just looked down at the clock and it's 11:11. 5 of Cups, 6 of Cups. You've been making some kind of progress towards healing recently, and it's one of those things where it's like completely internal. You're not trying to show it to the outside world in a certain particular mindset. And the message is that he sees your efforts and he's very proud of you, even though he knows you're not doing it for that. Like you're not doing it for the applause or anything like that. But the message is kind of like you still will benefit from the little boost of like you're doing a good job, even though you feel like nobody can see the job that you're doing. Chills. And you feel the passion within. That's me trying to nudge you. You deserve better. So it feels almost like whatever the healing was somehow inspired by his memory or his energy. But you like took it and ran with it and did the hard work. My cousin Susan lost her parents in the past year. Her mom just died this week. Is her dad happy with how she handled everything since he passed? Mom died this week. Oh, that's the mom. Is her dad happy with how she handled everything? There was some kind of like in the past, Susan may not have allowed herself to receive different this time. Maybe it's the loss of the mom, like the loss of the nurturing from the mom caused her to be like, okay, I need to get this nurturing somehow. But the message is, how do I word this? In the past, she would not have let herself receive the support that she needed. And there's a lot of, we're really proud of you, as in her, for letting herself either cry to someone or open up to someone. Like she needed like an emotional hug, and in the past she wouldn't have let herself get it, and this time she did. Some kind of coin will show up as a sign of this message, and I have no more earthly worries. The sunflowers redirect and face towards the sun. I feel like that's a message of like they're right there with her. Like wherever she goes, they're right there with her. Why am I still having severe pain in my left foot 4 months post-op? Doctor says I should be better by now. Is it my weight, hormones, or nerves? Not hormones. Could the weight be affecting the nerves and then the nerves be triggering something to not heal fully? Almost like if there's pressure on something, like a balloon pushing into a wall type of thing is what I'm seeing. In terms of like, I guess the balloon would be some kind of muscle in your body. It feels like it you know, when you're healing and you need to like stretch or elevate, it feels like something can't, how do I explain this? Something can't extend fully, or something is not having enough space to depressurize, is how I want to word that. I would say I don't feel like it's hormones. I feel like something with weight is affecting a nerve. So it then feels like if one is addressed, which would be the weight, it will alleviate the pressure on the nerve and hence allow for healing, if that makes sense. So I feel like the main problem is coming from the nerve, but something is agitating the nerve, that the agitation thing can be relieved, is what I'm trying to say. Irene, new member, thank you. I'm going to start doing the new members. I always forget to do them. Any message from Ralph? Will my grandson, Darian, find a good job, and will he get married, and when? The message from Ralph is that some kind of balance is being restored. And it for you, it may feel like there's some kind of stagnancy or some kind of like blockage. That's protection of some sort. So like something's being prepared for you, and the stagnancy you may feel is just so you can go straight to the thing that's being prepared and not like take some other path you don't need to be on. My grandson Darian, find a good job. I feel like he may end up with some kind of job that's not a fulfillment, but is like a foot in the door. So this would be like, I get a job in sales and then I eventually elevate to management type of thing. So it feels like there's going to be a job where he's able to get his foot in the door, even though it may not be initially everything he wants. What is the lump on my right armpit, breast area? Is it cancer? Is it possible it's like a fluid buildup? Lump on my right armpit. I'm not really feeling like, I feel like it's something that needs to get checked out, but I feel almost like either they'll test for cancer and it'll come back negative, or it's something else altogether. But it feels like whatever it is going to require some kind of drastic lifestyle change. Like something not flowing properly and causing buildup is kind of the energy that I'm getting from this. But it feels like there's something that you can do to alleviate this being a continuous thing. I just want to say like excess fluid retention that's pointing towards something else. Maybe like sodium intake could be a problem. I don't know what else would cause that. Where should the doctors focus on my health? Is there something in the past that had been like a couple times you had to deal with the same type of health concern? It almost feels like that is what is causing other things. So like that is not coming back up as it presented previously, but that is causing some kind of agitation of other things. So I would say to look at whatever it is that's been like a consistent battle in the past that you feel like you got ahead of, because it feels like there's still some concern with that. It's just not showing up in the same way, if that makes sense. Is my mom is getting ready to leave Germany for a 3-year contract for her job. Does our spirit team have anything to tell her? Leave to Germany. There may be some kind, how long did you say? 3-year contract. It feels like there may be some kind of, how do I word this? You know, we have 7, 7, 7, but they're all reversed. It feels like there may be some kind of learning curve, and your mom may be one to be like, okay, I don't want to like ask too many questions or cause a fuss. I'll just like try and figure it out. It feels like there's going to be some kind of learning curve either at work or in like the environment that it'll be helpful for her to ask the questions and to get the answers. Almost like I can avoid a frustration if I put myself in a position to get more information. I would say if there's something that she's unsure about, ask the questions and get the answers, because it'll make her life a lot easier in the long run. Feels like there's some specific learning curve that it'll help alleviate. I turn 50 next week and wants to know what the universe has in store for me in my second half. There's some kind of stability coming in here. It feels like a persistent stressor you're finding a different solution for. Because in the past, when it didn't go your way, it didn't make you turn against yourself, or it didn't make you give up on yourself. You learned how to transmute the energy of frustration, and because of that, a frustration that's been persistent is going to be alleviated in some way. Will my mom be blessed with more grandkids and a time frame? Wondering if she has a son, if one of the children are a son. If not, then I feel like this would be pointing towards a boy. I do feel like there's 10 of Cups is the happy family card, and then that is connected to this masculine energy. So either this is a brother or this is a boy baby, but I do feel like that's a yes. Is my job at risk? It feels like there's maybe not your job in particular, so maybe not like because of you, but it feels like there's some decisions being made about how to maybe have less staff. So like I don't, if you're asking, are you specifically going to get fired for something you did? No. But is there a possibility that they're going to downsize in some way? It feels like that is being discussed. I almost want to, like, if they are going to downsize, you're not first on the chopping block, or your position is not first on the chopping block. But it feels like there's still some discussions up in the air about how much to downsize or what positions to cut or something like that. Or maybe it could be less hours either too. Any messages? There's a need to let yourself feel. The only way out is through. The time is now to call judgment on The Times They Are A-Changin' by Bob Dylan. There's a need to right now call quits on something that has more power over you than it should when it comes to an emotion that needs working through, that's causing you to feel defeated because you're not realizing how much energy is going to your subconscious unpacking this. So the time is now to address or face what you've been to some degree avoiding emotionally. Message from guides this week. There's some kind of solution coming. I almost want to word this as like a spiritual solution to a physical problem. So like, I don't know why this is the reference I'm getting, but you know, in like in the Sims game, like you can, or I guess any game, you can have like cheat codes in a video game. This feels like that. Like you're getting a spiritual cheat code and then putting it into a 3D problem that's going to yield some kind of solution. Oh, yeah. See, passing it down from the spiritual to the physical. Feels like this is kind of like a long time coming thing, too. The solution is a long time coming thing. How can I connect with my inner child more? Nope, that's the wrong one. Here it is. How can I connect with my inner child more? Codependency in reverse. So your inner child is trying to get your attention here. Unhealthy coping mechanism. Repetitive pattern syndrome. So it feels like there's something that is triggering you to disconnect, not from your inner child, but like from the innocent part of yourself. Almost like subconsciously you're trying to find blame with yourself for something that's not a you problem or your fault, because other people in the past did not take responsibility for their role in certain things that you had to deal with. I would say the first step in connecting with your inner child is reconnecting with the part of yourself that doesn't seek to blame yourself for things that other people did or did not do. It feels like that will put a cog in the wheel and allow your inner child to kind of feel like safe to express, I guess you could say. New member, thank you. I don't know how to say that. Cusis, thank you. Message from my spirit team and song. You're going to be triggered in some way because subconsciously or like your higher self asked for the opportunity like a redo, like something happened and you were like, man, I wish I could have handled that differently. I wish I could have showed myself that I could handle that differently. And that is going to happen. But it feels like this time you're going to be very successful in the way that you, very successful in the way that you show up for yourself, even when something externally makes you feel like you shouldn't show up for yourself. Strength in reverse, something that's been a long time in the works to overcome, like the way you show up for yourself. The Architect by Casey Musgraves. Will my cat Bella reincarnate back to me? We had a special bond and I'm, oh, death and rebirth. Death and rebirth. Reincarnate back to me. I would say not like coming back to you in the form of another animal, but more of like a spirit guide. This is like the foundation is there so that I'm still able to communicate and connect with you, but there is some kind of barrier or blockage. And in my mind, I was like, so is it more of a spirit guide and not necessarily reincarnating? And I got truth. And then Two of Cups in reverse. So not connecting in the same way. So I would say more of like a spirit guide. You may find the energy of Bella showing up like in another animal, like this reminds me and that reminds me, but then there's still the element of like, but is a spirit guide type of thing. Where was I? My mom's lifelong best friend just passed. A message for Judy from Leanne in a song. There's this feeling of like she wishes they could have had a proper goodbye or a longer goodbye. It almost feels like there's something that they used to do together that she wanted to do one last time, but time was cut short. I almost feel like message for Judy from Leanne. It almost feels like Leanne is going to show up in certain ways for your mom, specifically to try and give the goodbye that she wasn't able to give. So I don't know if that's like certain memories in combination with like certain songs. It's almost like there's a message she's giving directly to her through like showing up random points in her life. She's going to try and spiritually provide the goodbye that she wasn't able to provide in the 3D. We are connected and always will. Soulmates and soulmates. Two different decks and they both say soulmates. Show up in a way. I feel like they were such good friends because they had been some kind of either sisters or family or friends in a past life. I don't know if they've ever talked about that with one another. Family. It feels like they were family in a past life because I said best friends and I got Ace of Swords in reverse. It feels like they were family in a past life and almost like in this lifetime, they helped one another break some kind of like if in the past life they weren't able to trust the other family members, in this lifetime they helped heal that wound for one another. Flying Without Wings by Ruben Studdard. You see any health concerns for my husband? I would say something is not up to par with like ease of flow. I don't know what that could mean. Ease of flow, like something not flowing as good as it could be. And like some kind of preventative measures would help alleviate that. A long-term relationship, so that's your husband. Marriage, that's your husband. Fairness and peace. So there is some kind of solution for it. Almost like if something in the day-to-day was agitating him and he didn't recognize it, something at a distance, a power surge. Investment. There's some kind of preventative care that he needs to reinvest into himself so that going forward, there's not a health concern. What's this month? June, July, August. August. I feel like if whatever it is, the preventative care starts now, or like it could be something like changing diet or changing something that's already existing that's not working as it should be. I feel like by August, you're going to kind of get hints as to what this is, though. I wouldn't say health concern. I would say something that could be better. Am I going to meet someone at my course or soon? I would say no. These are both about an offer of love, and they're both in reverse. Queen of Swords in reverse. Almost like right now, there's internal work that's still being done before you're ready to share the hard work. No, I don't want to word it like that. The work that you've done internally is still being prepared for you to be comfortable expressing it externally. So you're going to get like little opportunities to do that, and it's building up towards meeting someone, but not yet, if that makes sense. Could I be a star seed? So the first card that came out was Victory. 7 of Wands in reverse. Yes, but there's something that's blocking you from seeing you that way. Almost like deep down you know it, but don't all the way trust it because you don't feel like it's been proven yet to you, and you don't feel right stepping into like claiming that until you feel like it's been proven. But there's opportunities coming that are going to show you that you align with that. Let me change this playlist 1 second. Does Robert Ian have serious intentions with my sister, and can he be trusted? I feel like there's some kind of plan in place. It feels like Robert is the kind of person who needs to be needed. And if I feel like you need me, we're good. But if I feel like you don't need me, I'm going to do things that make you need to need me. So I would say it's not necessarily bad intentions so much as unhealthy. There's some kind of wound that he has not healed that makes him feel like if you don't need me, then you can walk away at any time. So there's intention to like make anyone who he's associated with need him so he feels secure in the connection, if that makes sense. Messages from my Ollie at Rainbow Bridge. Something has been hard on you lately when it comes to Ollie. I almost feel like it's something that you used to do with him that, like, I don't know if it's the weather changing or something like that. There's a feeling of like needing to let yourself enjoy things that also feel maybe potentially triggering. So like I want to, let's just say, for example, I want to go on this route for a walk, but that's the route that I used to take with him. I feel like I'm going to be triggered, so I avoid it altogether. But if I went, I would find some kind of healing in that. So it feels like that. Yeah, devil in reverse. You're going to handle it better. You'll be able to handle letting yourself feel and process the feelings better than you expected yourself to be able to. My mind is free and I've gone through my life review and there are so many lessons still to be learned. I feel like this is like a message of reincarnation, like a younger soul that is getting ready to come back. And my mind is free would be like switching from one lifetime into a reincarnation. It feels like the message is reincarnation, like wanting you to be okay as he ventures into his next chapter, I guess. Have an opportunity to buy a certain mobile home or a guy to build for me. Which one? Mobile home. Or a guy to build for me. Definitely guy to build for you. It feels like the Sun in reverse, 10 of Wands, there's going to be a burden that you don't anticipate when it comes to the mobile home. And then when it comes to him building for you, this is literally like a nest on this card. So like building a safe and secure, proper home, right, type of thing. And then Queen of Pentacles is here as well. So it feels like while this option may cost more, initially, there's some kind of burden here that you're not seeing coming with the mobile home. So I would say to have them build. Message from my spirit community. Sacral chakra, something with showing up unmasked or showing up as the fullest version of you. You recently stepped out of your comfort zone and did that. Excuse me. Oh, let me clear my throat. You said something that typically would be out of your comfort zone to like show up fully in that way. And it's almost like some where you could typically only go straight before, now you have an option to handle something differently because you showed yourself that you were ready for it. Where We Belong by Thriving Ivory is the song. Dad loved mom and have just released past anger. Now I have no pain. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. Oh, both of them. Do not be afraid. Do not be afraid. I'll be there to hold your hand. Oh, Dad loved mom. I'll be there to hold your hand every step of the way. Whichever one of them passed first was waiting for the other one. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Oh, like one passing and going to the other. Like, don't be afraid. I'm here. I'll hold your hand type of thing. New member, Elisa, thank you. Where was I on this list? Oh. Any messages for me today? You didn't settle for a lesser option, and because of that, you're going to be free to allow the blindfold to come off and find a solution that you wouldn't have been able to see if you would have settled for less than what you deserve. I just want to word it as like you didn't take a like a low ball offer on your self-worth, and because of that, you're being free to take the blindfold off when it comes to possibly hesitating to take some kind of chance on yourself because you were like, okay, there's a lot of other people doing this, or there's competition, or there may be pushback. There's some kind of forward progress now because you refuse to settle for less than what you deserve. Almost feels kind of like career related. I used to be so fearless. Something happened in the last that made me fearful. I wouldn't necessarily label it as fearful. I would label it as there's something that happened that you did not anticipate it going a certain way. Okay. So like you were like, I'm going to do this, and either A, B, or C could happen, but like D came in and surprised you, right? So it's not necessarily fear. It's more of like hyper focusing on the wisdom that you gain from past experiences that are causing you to overthink things now. And the overthinking is causing some kind of like distrust in your discernment. So I would say starting to slowly take action sooner on things that you feel intuitively called to will help you reestablish that trust. Can I trust A from my group? It's weird because it feels like yes. Yes, but there may be some I like to make the decisions. I like to be in charge. I'm not necessarily going to step on other people to get my way, but I am going to be a little bit more pushy or aggressive to get my way if I have to. And you might not see that until I'm pushed there, type of thing. And I trust. I would say yes, you can, but don't expect to always get the full story or all the information. There will be some like strategic holding back of information in order to get the proper amount of control that they want. Should I continue to pursue this developing relationship? It's going to take a while to get, it almost feels like one of your love languages is overgiving, and one of your love languages is holding back until certain things are proven. It feels like it's going to take a minute to get on the same page. King of Pentacles in reverse. So that would be the other person maybe not opening up as much until there's like a proving of the potential for it to last in some way. It feels like it may be a little bit slower. I would say it's worth to continue. It feels like at the very least, you're going to learn a lot about yourself in certain things that unfold in the relationship. You're going to learn a lot about yourself, not necessarily negative, but more just like what you want, what you don't want, what you're willing to deal with, what you're not, type of thing. This transition from leaving my workplace, experiencing more abuse before my last day of 6/13. It's 6/6. And finding a new apartment is tough. Any insight to make it better? 6/13, 6/6. It's like a week. Don't give anybody any more information than they absolutely need to know. Answer only the questions that you're asked and don't give too much more information, because it feels like there may be somebody that wants to twist things to make it look a way that it's not. Is there another person that could help you with an apartment? Not like financially, but like a friend that lives in an apartment complex or something. It feels like there's someone who can connect you with the right place for you. But maybe not someone that you've spoken to about it yet. Will my interview go okay today, and will they want more? It feels like they're still up in the air about their own hiring process. I don't know how to word that. I would say whoever you speak to today does not like to be cut off, or like make sure that you're paying close attention to exactly what they're asking so they don't have to ask in a different way. Will they want more? I don't know what you mean by will they want more, if you mean another interview or more information, but it feels like yes, they're going to want more of something. They don't have everything they need to make a decision yet, is what this feels like. I need more to make a decision than I have. It almost feels like whoever you're going to interview with is someone like, I'm the boss, everyone needs to look at me that way, but not like in your face about it. More like if you pick up on it, you'll get on their good side type of thing. Why is my heart blocked from my husband? True self disconnection. Mother wound in reverse. So it's not a you problem, is what this is. I kind of want to say like the depths that you're swimming to get to know yourself and love yourself. It feels like he's not willing to do the same for himself. And that's what's causing the disconnect between the two of you. Almost like one of you is ready to leave the nest spiritually and one is not, or like emotionally and one is not. Like I almost want to say he wants to stay in like the comfort of like a security blanket, and you're like, no, I want to grow, I want to evolve, and he's not meeting you on that same wavelength. What chakra? Self-mastery, solar plexus. Self-mastery. Your higher self. Bridging in your higher self. Connecting your higher self to what feels like your inner child, the Fool in reverse. I almost want to say like you recently did some kind of heart healing and now your consciousness is going down into this solar plexus. So it's not necessarily that it's blocked. It's just that that is where the focus is shifting now. So you can connect your higher self to your inner child more. Yes, you can pay on PayPal. The link is in my Stan store. Any messages and a song from my bio dad. He was not in my life as a child and passed before I knew about it. You know that song, Do You Believe in Magic? That's the song that I heard as soon as that came out. Do you believe in magic in a young girl's heart? Something about music is playing. Oh, music is playing. A song. Hold on. Blackbird by the Beatles. So there's something that I don't know how to word this. There's something that subconsciously holds you back because there's a question that you want answered from him or about him. And there's like not a direct answer, but there's some kind of closure that's coming into you in some way. Star in reverse. Whatever makes you feel like you can't connect fully to part of yourself because of a lack of some kind of answer, that's coming in. You're going to get some kind of, I don't want to word it as closure, but I don't know what other word to use. Something similar to closure. Do the things you love. Never regret doing what makes you happy. So this fell on the ground because I knocked it over. It says conflict. A conflict I'm dealing with now. A change that put this conflict in motion. A change I can make to move beyond the conflict. And a change I may need to accept as a result of this conflict. That's kind of what I just said. Something that you are in conflict with yourself about, you're getting some kind of indirect solution for. My Girl by the Temptations is the song. When will my son find his forever job? Oh, I just almost threw that whole deck on the floor. This is 2024. I feel like with by the end of 2025, I feel like he's going to be pretty set in knowing what he wants to do and how he wants to do it. And then it's just kind of alignment with finding the right opportunity. But I feel like right now there's some things that he's unsure about how or where to dedicate his energy, that he'll be finding out what he really wants by the end of next year. Not that he'll have that job, but it feels like he'll be 5 steps closer to it if he doesn't have it then. And it feels like there's an ending coming to something that he thinks right now is right for him. So like, I think I'm going to go in this direction, and then all of a sudden I realize it's actually over there, type of thing. "37 years old, been single a very long time. Will I ever get married and have kids?" I just want to say, because of the amount of time that you've been desiring, it feels like something's holding you back now from putting yourself out there in a way that would help you align with that opportunity, because it's almost like you feel like it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back each time or something like that. I feel like it can happen for you as you start to allow yourself to get in the mindset of like, I'm bringing things to the table too. Even if I was single for X amount of time, it doesn't mean that that's because there was nothing for me to offer. It's just that I had some kind of healing or discovery to do. Ancestral wounds and inner critic. Yeah, that makes sense. So it feels like you are breaking some kind of generational family line wound, in which when something doesn't initially work out the way you hoped, you get very hard on yourself, and that will then push away the thing that you're trying to draw to you. So it feels like getting ready to put yourself back out there in a way that doesn't feel like a punishment to yourself, I guess you could say. Different playlist on 1 second. Slow Down by Justin Stone just came on. I feel like the wait was not a punishment. The wait was so that you had time to heal what you didn't have time to heal in previous lifetimes, because you were invested in a partner. So this lifetime, your higher self was like, no, 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 we're going to focus on us. And then when we're ready, we'll step out. Message and song from my spirit team. The redirection was protection. And because you listened to the guidance that allowed for the redirection, I almost want to word this as like an increase in gifts, or a discovery of a talent, or like an increase in a talent. Like, I'm kind of good at something, and then all of a sudden I'm like, let me try again, and I find that it comes more naturally to me. The redirection was protection, and you're soon going to see that. Hold on, I'm gonna get a different playlist for the song. Trying My Best by Anson Sebra. My father passed away in 2019. Does he want me to travel to Peru to settle his affairs? He was a very private man. Passed away unexpectedly. Does he want you to travel to Peru? some kind of offer, which in this case, the offer would be like a representing settling of affairs. 6 of Cups is reversed. So like my little girl that's not a little girl anymore, my little girl that's an adult, taking a leap of faith, and then secrets being revealed. So I would say that if anyone was going to do it in the way that he would want it done, it would be you. This is like, you know how I would want it taken care of. So you're the one that I would like to make, you're the one that I would trust the most to offer my energy. So like you would handle it in the way that he would handle it if he was the one doing it, if that makes sense. So yes, a long-winded yes. Oh, you heard my voice and whispers calling your name. Time is a precious gift here on earth. I'm happy for all the moments we shared. I feel like maybe you're asking me this because you've been feeling called to do this and you've been waiting on a confirmation from him, and this would be the confirmation. An offer coming from my little girl that's no longer a little girl to take a leap of faith to bring light to what needs to be handled. I almost want to say solved. I don't know. I said what needs to be handled, but I keep hearing solved in my head. So maybe it would make more sense to you if I said for you to handle what needs to be solved. Hope You Dance by Leanne Womack. I'm going to stay on about 10 more minutes. Does my husband's mama have a message for him? There's some kind of shoulda, coulda, woulda, or an overthinking of something. There's like an unfounded worry, I guess I would word that as, that she's guiding him to release himself from. So like if it's a shoulda, coulda, woulda, the message would be everything happened the way that it was supposed to happen or needed to happen. I just want to say there's something that he wishes that he could have gone differently with her, but it actually was the growth opportunity that he himself needed and she was happy to provide. When you see butterflies, that's me saying hello. And candles will flicker when I'm around. She's still very much with him. It feels like comforting him for that specific reason. Message from my guides. That was a card flipped over. Some kind of bad habit from the past, or a mindset that wasn't serving you. It's almost like it comes back to the surface and you like block it. You're like, nope, like a basketball being shot into a net where it's like going to go in and you're like, nope, no thanks. That is going to happen. So whenever it shows up, it's not a punishment. It's exactly that. It's the opportunity for you to choose differently for yourself. So don't get frustrated with yourself if you find yourself maybe like having thoughts that you would have had in the past. It's not you regressing in any way. It's simply an opportunity for you to be like, no, that doesn't work for me, type of thing. Back to this list for a couple minutes. I'm going to see if there's anyone I did not get yet. Any messages from a loved one today? My anxiety and stress are consuming me. What is that quote? It's like, I don't remember what it is. It's like when you're in the midst of the battle, you can't really see from a bird's eye view. Almost like if you're looking at a maze, and if you're in the maze, you can't see the different options, right? You just see like I can go this way, and then it dead ends and I have to turn back. But from a bird's eye view, you could see that there's different opportunities for solutions. So the message is trust that even though you can't see that there's the potential to get out of this maze, that there is that potential. Yeah, 10 of Swords reverse, some kind of major healing. Almost like the more you keep yourself in a vibration of being on your own team as opposed to being hard on yourself or being against yourself, the more your spirit team is able to communicate with you, okay, a hard left up here, or like 10 feet and then make a right, because they have the bird's eye view that you don't, but they can pass you the information of the direction of the bird eye view, if that makes sense. But there is something that you need to focus on healing. Betrayal wound. You're learning to show up for yourself after someone in the past made you feel like you were worthy of a betrayal, because you weren't, but you had to reprogram your subconscious to get back on your own side after that, if that makes sense. I had a dream about my dead dog Mimi. Is she okay and around me? Death and rebirth, star, magician in reverse. It wasn't the ideal way to communicate. Almost like there was some hesitation to show up that way because Mimi didn't want to trigger you, but it was like knowing you needed that energetic hug. So I'm gonna potentially trigger you just so I can also show you that I'm still here for you. Yes, she's okay, and yes, she's very much around you. Oh, I'm so happy here, carefree with no earthly worries. For some reason, this ballerina made me think of the Zoomies. Like I have all the space in the world to have the Zoomies type of thing. Oh, babies and pets. Smiling and laughing. So yes. I feel like maybe you called her your baby a lot. Oh, and Stand By You by Rachel Platten is the song that's playing. So is she around you? Very much so. How will working with Michelle help me on a spiritual level? Helping to further unblock your throat chakra by the supportive community that she offers. So maybe it's a specific way of, or a specific style of communication that she has that you incorporate. And as you do, it allows that throat chakra to really start opening up, expansion and expression. As I throw the entire deck on the floor. We're going to leave that there. Throwing it, and what's that quote? It's like you throw it at the wall and you see what sticks, right? So it's like she help you see different styles of communication that you can try out and see what works for you in terms of like reopening the throat chakra fully. Go back to, yeah. Does my brother need to worry? Do I need to figure out a plan for my niece? I have learned some truth and I don't know. It feels like you're going to continue to learn more truth that's going to continue to make you feel like you should have some kind of plan in place. Do I need to figure out a plan for my niece? I would say have a plan that's ready to enact if and when like a final straw happens. It doesn't feel like you need to enact the plan right now, but it will be helpful to have the plan because it feels like there's additional things that you're going to learn that you're not going to like. Someone you already don't really trust loses more of your trust by what you learn. And at that point, you're going to be like, I need to have a plan that I could enact at any time, even if I don't need to enact it right at this moment. Is Lilith trying to connect with me? Trying to get you to break out of some kind of shell? I don't know if that's how I want to word that. Yes, but differently than she would have in the past. I'm trying to see if I can switch communication styles to get you to, I don't know how to word it other than break out of a shell, but like a mental shell, like some kind of limit that she's trying to alleviate. So like I could communicate this way because I've communicated this way in the past, but if I try to communicate this way, you'll see the different things that are possible. So that's what I mean by breaking out of the shell. So yes. Who is around me? There's one person that's passed over the course of this lifetime. And I feel like at times you'll find yourself communicating with this person like randomly, or like certain things will trigger, almost like you feel like there's some kind of walkie-talkie that connects you to this one person that was a part of your life in this lifetime that has passed. That person is very heavily around you. This feels like almost, I was going to say a connection that maybe feels a little bit more private, or maybe that people didn't understand the full extent of, but this person is helping you with healing from something that doesn't have to do with them. So they didn't, it's not that they hurt you and now they're trying to help you heal. It's that they're there and they're trying to work through some other hurt that doesn't have anything to do with them, or at least not directly. See if there's anyone I didn't. Where did the acid come from on my living room table? What happened to my eye drops? I put acid for gold testing instead of eye drops. Oh my gosh. I was blind for weeks. Oh my gosh. Ooh. New fear unlocked. Oh. Where did the acid come from on my living room table? This could read two different ways. It could read, feels less likely, but like someone messing around trying to be funny, or trying to teach a lesson of sorts, but it feels more likely. Is it possible there was things next to each other and you threw out the wrong one thinking that that was something else, or that could be another individual that threw out the wrong one? The star. I almost want to say the wrong thing was discarded of, or someone was trying to either make a point or be funny. King of Swords. Strategy. Knocking something apart. It could still kind of go either way. Good or correct. Knocking something apart. Feels like the wrong thing was thrown out. But I can't really tell if it was intentional. Obviously, if it was you, it wouldn't have been intentional, though. Does my guides have any information for me or want me to be doing? Some kind of less than desirable conversation that needs to be had. It's like before moving forward, have this conversation so there can be like camaraderie or something, like fixing some kind of connection before moving forward will benefit you in ways that you're not seeing right now. Yeah, 3 of Wands in reverse. I don't see how this could benefit me, but it does. I would say have the difficult conversation and watch what it opens up for you. Not that you're doing it for that reason, but there will be some kind of benefit. I had back surgery in August. Is the metal they put in my back making me sick? And since my back is fused, should I have the metal taken out? Is the metal making you sick? An unfortunate turn of events from some kind of work that was done to you that's causing a heavy burden that you're not able to really defend against because the problem is inside. There's nothing you can do outside. An unfortunate turn of events because of some kind of work done that's causing a heavy burden that you're not able to defend against. Is it making me sick? I would say at the very least, your body doesn't like whatever it is that they used. Should I have the metal taken out? Disconnection from the Empress. You know, when there's like, when you're opening a swimming pool and you have to put different chemicals in it to balance out whatever and get it good, that's the reference I'm getting. Like, there's a solution that wouldn't require you to get it unfused, but there's something that can help your body tolerate the like the external thing being in there. Yeah, something that could be offered to alleviate the toxicity and restore health. I would say yes, it's not agreeing with you, but you don't need to get it taken out. It feels like there's another solution instead of that. Like yeah, I just keep going back to the swimming pool, like balancing out all the things in the swimming pool so it functions properly. Oh, yes, everyone check out the Mod Brand Facebook. It's in the description, I think, at the bottom. What's causing my recent lack of happiness? How can I get back to being myself? Getting my light back. There's something you're not all the way trusting yourself about. Almost like, I want to do this, or I want to learn this, or I want to walk forward into this, but I don't know if I'm ready, or I don't know if there's this space for me. Ancestral wounds. Oh, you're seeking clarity beyond what, no, that's not how to word that. In your family line, people would push towards truth or knowledge to some extent, but then after there was a certain level of pushback, they would stop. You're pushing past that barrier. You're seeking clarity that others couldn't get close enough to. And it feels like because of that, there's certain ancestral wounds that are coming to the surface because almost like they all made it to this door and then they had resistance and they were like, okay, I'm not going to push. But you're like, oh no, I'm going to push through the door. So the door opens, but with it comes those wounds that were not all the way healed. So you're healing them. Lack of boundaries. There were walls enacted to protect them so that they did not push forward into the information that you're pushing forward into now. So it's just learning to trust that you're able to handle what you receive as it comes to the surface. Hold on. Oh, it's still up. Okay, hold on. I'm seeing this deck. Let's see what comes out. Oh. Oh. This would be the ancestral not organized crime, but like the group of them. They couldn't get past the certain levels of spiritual insight that you're able to get past now, but it also comes with having to face the wounds that they didn't have to face. Warning, alarm, and war. You chose to go into spiritual warfare so that you could unpack it and understand it. When they were met with it, they were like, okay, that's enough. That's why you're having a hard time with it. That was very direct. Is there anybody I can get on here yet? I'm going to do a couple more. How is my dog Bella's health? I would say something that you do to go above and beyond helps as preventative care or helps to alleviate something that would be a problem if she wasn't as well taken care of. So like the way you take care of her is making her life much better than it could have been if there was someone who wasn't going above and beyond. So it's almost like you going above and beyond has alleviated a health concern that you don't have to deal with because of you taking extra measures, I guess you could say. There's the bottom here. Are me and my husband going to stay together? Not that you can't, but I feel like if you're going to, there's a need to get on the same page and for him to be emotionally available in ways that he's not being right now for you. So is there potential for you to push through certain things? Yes, but not if you're the only one doing the pushing. If you're going to stay together, he needs to try as well and kind of meet you halfway there. Excuse me. My granddaughter has to choose competitive cheer expert or high school cheer. No, which will be the happiest choice. I'm going to do about 2 more after this. I can feel my voice going bye-bye. To choose between competitive cheer expert or high school cheer. No. It depends on what's going to be more important to her, because I feel like competitive cheer, she's going to have, oh no, my computer is about to die. 1 second. Oh, 19. Okay. Competitive cheer, it feels like she'll be given the opportunity to like be a front runner or like be in the spotlight or something like that. But she might not enjoy the social aspect as much. It's more of the cheer aspect. Whereas high school, she may enjoy the social aspect, but it may not be as beneficial if she's trying to like grow her cheer career, if that makes sense. I want to lean towards competitive would be better in the long run. Should I reveal all in a professional email after I leave? And will having a family member as a co-applicant work? I would say it may be freeing for you to do the email, but I don't know if it's going to go where you would hope it would go. And I don't know if like, I feel good sending the email, but then because nothing happens, then I feel frustrated with myself or something to that regard. I feel like you could send it, but don't anticipate necessarily it producing the results that you're hoping for, because it feels like there's someone on the back end that already would have a plan of how to cover up anything you would say, like a backwards rebuttal that would be believed because they would be there and you would not, I guess. Would a family member as a co-applicant work? I would say yes. This feels like someone who'd be able to sign for you to help. Protect isn't the right word. Someone that could sign for you that would make whoever you're applying to feel confident that you wouldn't not be able to fulfill or uphold your end. So I would say yes. Have I met my twin flame? Do I know them now? I feel like there's a specific person that you're wondering, like, is this person my twin flame? I don't think that person is your twin flame, no. I don't feel like you've met this person. And I feel like this person is going to be different than what you expect, but in a refreshing way. Oh, King of Cups. So more emotionally available and supportive than you may be used to, or than you may think is like possible. Like if someone explained to you this person, you'd be like, oh, that couldn't be. And then that's what it is. Like there's emotional support that you wouldn't be expecting. I Will Follow You Into the Dark by Death Cab for Cutie is the song. Someone who's willing to fight for you more than what you have been used to in the past. Fight for you instead of with you. One or more cards for Drake's friendship since his rap battle with Kendrick Lamar. 21 Little Baby Young Thug. Okay. So cards for Drake's friendship since his rap beef with Kendrick Lamar. So Drake and 21. Affair and cheating. Confirm. Drake and 21. I'm willing to stab you in the back to make myself look better. Drake and Little Baby. Regret. Ego. I wish I would have done something differently so that little baby would be on my side more, or so that he doesn't find out about something that I did behind his back previously type thing. Young thug. AI. Lies. Life insurance. I'm giving false information about you to try and make myself look better, or like there's a lie going on about me, but if I do a bigger one about you, people will focus on that type of thing. Quavo. Secret government program. Truth. I almost read that as like blackmail in a way. I don't know where I'm getting that from. Secret, like you know that I know stuff about you that you don't want other people to know. So as long as we say cool, that won't come out. Money, yeah. Using secrets as blackmail. 2 Chainz. Cult. Optical illusion. It feels like there's beef between the two of them that they're not letting the world know about. And Yachty. Secret trip. Lots of secrets here. Secret trip, spouse, partner. It feels like out of all of them, those two are the most okay still. Drake and Yachty, like, it may not look like that on the outside. They may be pulling away from each other or even fighting. I don't know. But like behind the scenes, there's still some camaraderie there. Enforcing a pattern. So things are remaining the same behind the scenes, even if they look different in front of the scenes, if that makes sense, for the last one. Making a mess. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 more and then I have to hop off because my voice is starting to like itch. Feels like there's pollen in my throat. Acid has not been touched in years. Kept in a safe place. Did Dave put the acid on the table? Did Dave put the acid on the table? Oh. Is it possible it was still some kind of oversight? It doesn't feel like on purpose. Almost like I'm distracted or I'm rushing, maybe. Release and get away. If it was, it feels like more of an oversight than like a purposeful thing. Or like, yeah, I feel like oversight would be the right word. Is Facebook or Craigslist better for next home? Is there another option? Feels like Facebook is going to be more effort than results. So like I spend a lot of time and don't really figure out what I need to figure out. And Craigslist, it feels like I feel more trusting than I should be about certain sources. So it feels like if there's a third option, that would be better. Maybe just like looking on the websites yourself instead of like the the middle, Facebook or Craigslist would be like the middleman, maybe like going directly to like the source instead. What is causing my husband to be sick almost every day? Is it possible there's too much of something? It could be like environmental, it could be like medication, diet. Feels like something is too much, but not to the point where it would be like a crisis. It's more of like a slow buildup of something being too much. Husband in reverse. Something too much that's causing a depletion of energy or a depletion of I am the reference I'm getting is like I don't know what it's called, but like there's certain things like in the stomach that help with digestion, right? So for example, it would be like if something was causing too much of that to be there, and then it was then slowing digestion. So it doesn't have to be that exactly, but like something too much is causing something else to not filter or function as good as it could be. A document, no news, no change. If he already got some kind of opinion on this, it feels like he didn't get the right opinion. Like if he went and got something checked and they're like, no, you're good, it feels like there's a need for like a second evaluation of some sort, but like from a different, like if he went to a regular doctor the first time, this is like go to like a different type of someone who specializes in, I almost want to say like gut health. I don't know if the gut health is what's being caused by something else or if the gut health is causing something else, though. Feels like there's two things connected. Okay, last one, and then I have to hop off. No idea where I was on this. Uh-oh. Okay, last one. Am I going to win the motorhome? I unfortunately don't think so. It feels like when it's over, you don't have that property. But it almost feels like you're going to be okay with it because then at least you're like, okay, well, this isn't going to happen, so I need to start enacting my next plan. And Eight of Wands or Eight of Cups was in the bottom, so walking away from something unfulfilling. So I don't think so, but I think that once you have the final answer, you can start to enact the other plan that you have. Oh, I just almost... Okay, last one. Will my mom ever change? She's toxic. I don't know what happened to her that made her that way. I would word this as very set in her ways. It felt like when she was younger, there was someone that she felt was controlling to her and that she did not have the support to break the control, and that caused some kind of imbalance that she never was able to reconcile. I would word it as feeling like the world is out to get her and that her being angry at the world is like ode to her, I guess you could say. Psychic attacks in reverse. Emotional expression inhibition. So I don't hold back. I give too much because I feel like I'm being attacked, but at the same time, I'm not recognizing how my choices play into that. I don't feel like she's going to change very easily. It feels like this is something that she's pretty set in terms of like how her consciousness functions. Like, people did things that I didn't love, and I'm making it everybody else's problem because I can't make it that person's problem, I guess I would say. All right, everyone, I have to get off. My throat is like tickling. I'm going to be back on tomorrow for another members live. I'm going to schedule it right now, probably for the same time. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you to my mods. I am really next week going through all the emails that the mods sent me to answer those questions. So if you want to update your question, that's fine. You can do that. These cards have just been kind of consuming me for the last 2 weeks. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you to the mods. And I will talk to you tomorrow.